Campfire Confidential. This is episode 30, and in this episode I'm going to talk about what's in my backpack. Now, if you've watched previous episodes, you know some of the decisions we've already made. For example, the luxurious bath towel. We have the Costco throw. It replaces a sleeping bag. It's very lightweight, plenty of good size. And even if I don't use it as a sleeping bag, I'll probably use it as a pillow. Speaking of pillows, I've got my Arc'teryx jacket stuffed in a small travel-sized pillow protector. So that's ready to go as a pillow. And I have the clothing bag that I shared in episode 28. Light slider, I have a sit pad, and I like it because it keeps my clothes clean when I stop for a break, or it keeps my backpack clean, which by extension also keeps my clothes clean. It weighs very little, and it's a nice insulating layer if it's cold or wet. We went ahead and bought these sleeping bag liners, Sea to Summit Insect Shield sleeping bag liners, and we'll use these whenever we're in maybe a hostel that doesn't seem like it's as tidy and clean as it could be. I have my raincoat and of course my Crocs. And then I have these things that are kind of more individual to me. These are my choices. I have a small towel that I keep on the outside of my backpack for just wiping off my face or cleaning my glasses. I have a belt bag that I like to use because it keeps my survival items very close at hand. Even if I take off my backpack and wander away, I will still have my headlamp, my whistle, and this piece of cord, and a handy carabiner that my sister gave me. I have this waterproof bag that I use for my camera. Now my camera's not here because I'm filming with it right now. But here we have the charger for my camera's batteries and a whole bunch of spare SD cards. These are my toiletry items. Pretty ordinary, pretty small size. I have a washcloth. I know a lot of people like to use disposable wipes, but I feel like a washcloth is environmentally a better choice. It weighs very little, and I just like it. I have a toothbrush and toothpaste, a small tube of Benadryl for topical use, my favorite sunscreen, a hairbrush, more or less. I have lip balm and deodorant. Going along with toiletries is first aid items. Number one, my first aid kit is ibuprofen. I have some Next Care first aid tape, a completely waterproof tape. This is excellent for treating blisters, excellent for staying on cuts and scrapes. Even when your skin gets wet, this stuff will stay on. Highly recommended. I've got KT tape, I've got a sewing kit, and then I went to REI and they have this wilderness first aid section where you can get tiny little packages of first aid cream and different kinds of medicines. And so I just basically have one dose of each of a lot of different things: acetaminophen, ibuprofen, loperamide. I have a hydrocortisone cream, and they're all in single-use packets. Plus, I've added to it with a little bit of super glue. So that's the first aid kit. Going right along with first aid is I've got a small roll of duct tape. I've got my earplugs, which are probably more of a sleep essential. My picnic set in case of a spontaneous picnic. My laundry kit, which consists of some Dr. Bronner's soap and unscented. And then I've got about a dozen of these large safety pins to use as clothespins on windy clotheslines in Spain. This is a bottle bandit. Slider talked about this a little bit. These hook on to the backpack, and then this ring retains the neck of a plastic water bottle. So smart water bottle or Coke bottle, whatever, and keeps it close at hand. So basically that's our whole hydration system right there. In the category of electronics, here we go. I've got an Anker. This is the 13,000 milliamp charger with 2 USB ports. It weighs about 8 ounces. I've got a USB plug with 2 USB outlets that will go into my adapter. It's my Garmin InReach Mini satellite communication system. I can use it to send text. We can use it to send messages that we have arrived safely at our destination. We can also use it in case of emergency to send out a help signal. It's got an SOS button. Never press the SOS button. I have the cables to charge my cell phone, my Anker, and my watch. I can also charge my headlamp from this too, and my headphones from this. This is just a pair of cheap noise canceling earbuds I got on Amazon. Basically, this is what I use to edit my movies. Speaking of my movies, while I might film on my Canon, I do all my editing on my iPhone. I've got an old 6 Plus. So I do all my video editing in iMovie. The other thing I like to do with this is I have purchased this guidebook on Kindle and I've uploaded it to my phone. Plus my phone has the Guthooks guide to the Camino de Santiago. This is an SD card reader that allows me to transfer pictures from my SD card to my phone. Now, I could do that with Bluetooth from my phone, from my camera to my phone, but in doing that, I'm using up camera battery. So to try to save a little bit of camera battery, I'm going to use this to transfer SD cards. I have a Dyneema fabric waterproof bag, and in it I can keep my phone as well as important documents. This is also a Dyneema bag. It's a dry bag. These came from Z-Packs. I'm a big fan of Z-Packs. That's ready to go. Don't need that. Finally, here's my purse. And in my purse, I've got my passport and an RFID protecting cover, my Kleenex pocket packs, don't leave home without them, and my sunglasses. So I am ready to go. My backpack is also from Z-Packs. It's part of their ARC collection, Dyneema fabric, basically waterproof. And that means it doesn't need a cover. I've got that hat back here. See if that stays with me. And then I'm going to scrunch this down. And hopefully Air France will believe that this is a carry-on size bag. It weighs 12.5 pounds. I want to talk about trekking poles for just a minute. I absolutely adore my trekking poles. I love using them. They keep me from face planting. They keep me from rolling my ankle, and they support my knees. There's a common legend out there that says that trekking poles can take about 20% of the weight off your back and shoulders. You're hauling it as a four-legged creature. I love my trekking poles, but I'm not taking them with me. And here's why. I can buy them in France, and I'm afraid TSA is not going to let me through with them. So rather than have them taken away, I will just leave them at home, buy a pair in France, and then hike with them as long as I need them. Thanks for watching, and buen camino.